in the city of Tshwane. The residents there who have been tampering with their electricity and water meters have about 10 days to come forward or face fines of up to 200,000 per household. The city giving them amnesty, but that period comes to an end on September the 30th. Let's get more. We're joined now by Peter Sutton. He is the Tshwane MMC for Finance. MMC, thank you very much for your time. 10 days for the culprits to come forward. How many households are we talking?
Well, we're not 100% sure at this point in time. We have a bold figure that we calculate we're losing. We haven't been able to equate that to specific households yet, but we are consistently busy with all sorts of reconciliations and investigations to try and get to the bottom of our electricity situation. But I can tell you that the number of amnesty applications coming through are definitely increasing, but also the amount of corruption. I'm just so shocked that even though we are in this process, we still get daily people coming forward demanding or we are subject to people demanding them to pay them to make accounts disappear, etc. A case in point we dealt with this week is one where a person had to pay, or they did pay, 110,000 rand to people to make their account of 500,000 rand disappear.
Wow.
So it's a major concern for us.
And so that tells you the problem within. How are you dealing with that on a daily basis, the rotten apples within your council?
That's been our focus, I think, since January. And, we have so many forensic audits processes going on. I just saw another file of forensic investigations that are now going through for possible, hopefully, some action that we can see there. It's an exceptionally difficult process to manage and to clean up from the perspective that we need evidence. We need people to come forward and give us affidavits. Now, part of the amnesty program is to say to people, we can exempt you from prosecution if you come and give us this information. We don't want to target the resident. We accept people make mistakes. We want to rectify it. But what we really want, and what's been our major focus on the outcome that we want with the amnesty period, firstly is to normalize people and to increase revenue, but also to deal with these rotten apples in the system, to get those people out of our system, to put them in handcuffs, and to make sure that they will not continue to steal this revenue from the city.
Now, MMC, here I am. Let's assume for a moment I'm a resident in your city. I'm a law-abiding resident who has been paying faithfully month after month. Here's a culprit who comes forward and says, I've been doing wrong. I'm trying to avoid paying this 200 rand fine. What does amnesty mean in practice?
Fantastic. So that's exactly the purpose. So what the result is if you do steal or tamper is you'll get a fine. You can get criminally prosecuted, and in some cases, in businesses or investment property, you can also be reported to the receiver of revenue for investigation. What we're saying is if you do come forward and you make use of the amnesty opportunity, we will exempt you from the penalties and fines. We will exempt you from prosecution. We will exempt you from any other further action on that. We will simply normalize you, and you will start paying for what you consume, which is ultimately what we want. Obviously, from the 1st of October, we will not be able to grant people that if they did not apply for amnesty. So that's what it will mean. It will give residents who do apply for the amnesty peace of mind that there will not be no further action except the fact that they will start paying their normal consumption, which they should have done anyways.
So that's a clever way of actually getting information out of the residents to say, who within the municipality have you been dealing with that has been saying to you, give me X amount of money and I'll keep quiet, I'll make this problem go away. So how much of that, how much have you uncovered as a result of this thing?
Well, at the moment, so much, we still, obviously our teams are still working through all the files, and like I say, it's going through an entire process now. But I can just say to you what we're finding is just absolutely alarming on how much money people illegally solicit from residents that are in dire straits. And I want to just make one important point for our viewers. The city of Tshwane also has a program, what we call the Affordability Assessment Program. And that is where there are residents who are really in financial dire straits, who simply can't afford, or they landed up with debt on their account, and due to economic circumstances they can't pay. They can apply to us through a formal process where part of or full or part of that debt under certain terms and conditions can be written off. And we can help them to get into a better financial position in terms of their account. We also have a program called the Indigent Program, where people who are below the breadline and who simply can't afford for the basics in life can apply for free basic services, where they get basic free electricity, water, and so on. So there's really no reason for people to be dishonest. We have processes in place to help them. The difference is with the processes I just mentioned to you, you can't make money off them because they are service to the public. We do them free of charge. People can have them. We help them. And that's what we are there for. We are a caring government. But unfortunately, people try to illegally gain out of this and use the desperate situation that our residents are in to try and solicit money from them for basically the same processes. Obviously illegally, but same effect.
Yeah. So for the better part of this conversation, we've been talking about the individual households. We can't forget that there are business accounts here as well. And the amount that I'm seeing here of 10 million rand, is that the exemption amount, or is that the amnesty that these businesses will be eligible to if they come forward with information as well? And whilst you answer that question, bring us up to speed about your switch-off campaign that you embarked upon a little earlier. How much have you collected as a result of that campaign?
Thank you very much. So, firstly, the 10 million rand fine is the new fine that we will introduce for any business that have been found to tamper or illegally connected to our network. So that's the new official fine. It was changed in May, and it's part of our proper and promulgated tariffs of the city of Tshwane. It used to be 670,000 rand. We now upped it to 10 million. And the second part of your question is what we are unearthing is just so much in terms of people, especially with businesses, not trying to use different alternatives and ways of going through and to bypass the system. And it's a major concern for us. So we have the fine system, and from the 1st of October, those fines will officially come into play if people are found guilty for those transgressions. Final question. So while you are on a campaign to collect as much as you can while rooting out corruption, you have been facing a threat yourself as a city from being switched off by Eskom. Where is that matter now? So that matter is being dealt with. It's gone through a formal process now where we are dealing with it through interventions of National Treasury as well. There's no threat of us being disconnected, but I want to again highlight the fact, our position on this. We do not want to go to war on Eskom. We're not looking for a legal solution to this problem. In the city of Tshwane, we have a liquidity problem. We do not dispute that we owe Eskom. We do not dispute the fact that we are wrong for not paying Eskom on time, and we're working to fix our own house and to get our value chain aligned to that of Eskom. There's other aspects we didn't speak about now, but there's a good reason for that. There's nothing sinister going on in our books. It's purely simply just the collection period timing difference that we have, and we don't have the liquidity reserves to finance that situation. So we're working on a financial solution with Eskom, with National Treasury. We're doing all we can to fix this matter and there's not even an option of a legal solution at this point in time. I want to make that clear.
So what's the total outstanding?
As we stand today, the previous account was paid. The new account was also in the region of 1.6 billion. A number of payments has been made. I must be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure on what the current balance is. I'll get that tomorrow because they make payments every day. But we're working to service this account before the end of this month. It's our hope. I'm not sure if we will get there, but our hope is to finance the entire Eskom account by the 30th of this month. And we also do not have any historic debt from Eskom, so that it's only the current invoice for August that we owe Eskom now. The July payments and everything before that was paid.
Peter Sutton is the Tshwane member of the Mayoral Committee for Finance. Thank you very much for that update.